Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man, and we're going to set the timing on a Kenmore front load 15 class 158 series. My favorite machine, 158-13200. 158's the important thing. After that, it just describes what's this going on and that's going on, and how the reverse works and what stitches there are. But we'll concentrate on the 158 decimal front load 15 class, which means it uses this kind of a bobbin, this kind of a bobbin case, and it uses this type of shuttle hook, which to me is as good as it gets. There's a lot of manufacturers that use this system. It's tried and true. It's been around for a long time, and it works like a charm, especially on this platform with this kind of precision and machining and what have you. So, first thing you want to say is, why would you want to set the timing to begin with? Because people tell me all the time, my machine's out of time, can you retime it? Well, what's the malfunction? It's skipping stitches, it's breaking needles, it's doing this, it's doing that. Okay, always change the needle first and check to see if the timing is off. The timing isn't off, you don't need to set it, because why would you do that? I took the feed dogs off of this little guy so we can have a better view of what's going on. The feed dogs, of course, they sit right here on there, like so. And they have these little screws that take them off. And if you want to have a real cool way to take those screws off and on, run down to the hardware store and get you one of these. Klein Tools, and it's the number 65200G8, it says on it. And this is a little socket. It comes with this. And this is the perfect fit for almost every feeder you're going to encounter on a household machine and a lot of industrials. It fits perfecto in the slot, and it's a ratchet you can get underneath there, and you can, get them loosey, tighty, however you want to do it. Because in here it's hard to get down. This is made for this perfectly. I don't think they made it for sewing machines, but by golly, it works like a charm. So if you can get a hold of this guy, this Klein Tools, it's 65200G8. When I go to the quilting retreats, they go, whoa, what is that? They see me using it, they go, whoa. So they take a picture of it, they order it. By the time they get home from the quilt retreat, it's in their mailbox. It's a pretty neat little item. 65200G8. It's a ratcheting, take your feed dog screws or your needle plate screws. Some of these needle plate screws are just as difficult, but that'll help you a great deal with that. That's what I use a lot. I keep several of those around because I don't want to be without it. Now, how do you know the timing's off? On a zigzag machine, that's a 15 class, that's a oscillating hook, which means it goes over and it goes back. It goes over, it goes back. You always set the timing with the zigzag set on its widest, which up here will be this dial. 0 is a straight stitch, no width. 0, straight stitch, no width. As you add width, all the way up to 4, as you turn it, you'll notice the needle bar comes from center off to the right, and you always take the needle down on the right hand swing all the way down as far as it'll go, and as it's rising, as it's coming up, let's take this down here so we can get right down to what we're talking about. This is very important that you notice that. Make sure it's out of time before you set the timing. If it's not out of time, you don't want to go through all this nonsense. Why would you? So as it's rising on the right hand side, the hook comes in, and of course the point of the hook, I'll get a little pointer on here, see the point of the hook. This is the hook, and that's going to be the point. As the point comes in from the left to right, get this back in here now. As the point comes in from the left to the right, you'll see it coming in. On the right hand side, as it rises, it's going to come in right above the eye of the needle. Right above the eye of the needle. Now if it's just right at the eye, there's an adjustment here on the needle bar. You loosen this ever so slightly, and the needle bar will come up and down a centimeter or two, millimeter, just a millimeter or two. And sometimes if you're zigzagging and it jams on the right and you have a big loop, you just loosen that, drop this down a little bit, and you'll fine tune that. But if it's way off, and the way to know if it's way off is with your hook out of it, when it comes around, when your shuttle driver comes around and it stops like right there, your timing is off when it stops right there. It has to go on past that. It's got to go on past it over in this area over here. It's got to come all the way over. So it's like pointing here. If it stops there, then the timing's off. It's not going to clear that thread out. So what you do to get the timing set, put the hook back in here so we can see what the heck's going on, is you get your tool. And this is the tool we're showing you how to use. This is the tool that we had made by Accurate Machine over in Fort Worth. You put your tool on your 5/16 drive, right there. 5/16 drive. And you put it on your pentagon lock nut, like so. That's your timing nut. Right here at the end of your shaft that drives your hook. Over here. You put this on, so it's all the way down on there, and you just break it loose, ever so slightly. You don't want to make it real loose, so it's flopping around. It's going to be nice and tight, so you just break it loose ever so slightly, so you can get a little movement over on your hook. Because when you break that loose, you come over here, when it's loose, you can move your hook back and forth. Hold your hand wheel still, and you can see the needle moves and the hook is not moving. So actually, the hook is freewheeling off the machine. So what you do is you swing it back, left side, let it rise, swing the needle bar over to the right side. It's going to drop down on the right, and as it rises on the right, the point of the hook comes in above the eye of the needle. And you'll think, well, let's see, are we coming in above the eye? Let's see if we are here. Put some better light on it. See if we're coming in above the eye or not. There's the eye right there. Coming in above the eye. That's a little bit, well, that's pretty much, let's advance it. See, I can hold the hand wheel, or I can hold the hook rather, and I can turn my hand wheel with my hand over on the right. I can make the needle go down or up while I'm holding the needle bar, or the hook assembly rather. I'm holding it still, and I can make it come in higher above the needle, right above the needle eye, right there. It's right above the needle eye. See, it's coming in right, well, let's drop it down a little bit, right there, right above the needle eye. You can see the eye of the needle. The hook is right above it, about a millimeter. Of course, you have that adjustment up here if you need to lower the needle bar. So when you got it where you want it, you come over to your pentagon timing bolt. Put this back on here, like so. Try to do this around the camera. And you crank it back down. Crank it down nice and tight. Nice and tight. So now, when you have your timing set on the right-hand rise, it comes in right above the eye of the needle. Right above the eye. And that's right smack on the money. Right above the eye. You can see the point. You can see the eye. To shine through there if we can. See the point? See the eye? It's coming right above it. But it's got to be on the right of the swing. Over on the left, it'll look like this. On the further, it's like it's 1, 2, 3 millimeters from the edge here. The point of the hook, it's coming back over here. So you can just see it coming back over there. just a few millimeters there. As it rises, it comes in way above the eye on the left side. But on the right side, that's where you set the timing on an oscillating hook like this. On a rotating hook, 360-degree rotating hook, you set it on the left side using the same technique on the left side. But on an oscillating hook like this, you set it on the right side. As it rises, bring it in just above the eye, and you tighten your timing bolt back down on the right using your tool. Tighten it down good and snug and put it back together and start sewing. That's all there is to it. But the key is make sure you have to set the timing before you set the timing. And if it's just real close, and if you're just catching a loop on the right-hand side, you're sewing along on a narrow zigzag, it's okay. And then as the zigzag gets wider, you start having problems. That's when you'll know your timing's off. Or if it's just skipping altogether, always check your needle. Make sure your flat sides of the back. Make sure it's a quality needle. If you're sewing on a woven fabric like a double knit, single knit, tricot, nylon, jersey, anything like that, any kind of the new spandex and stuff like that, get a Singer needle 2045. Get a Schmetz stretch, S-T-R-E-T-C-H. S-T-R-E-T-C-H, it'll say on the front. It's a special needle made especially for skipping stitches. Always go with the needle first before you start setting your timing, because you can set your timing and it'll still skip, then you know it's a needle issue. Get a, see, these are Singer, here, Singer 2045, 9014. I buy these by the 100, and I get them in the Schmetz also. The Schmetz are also very, very good needles, and I don't have those handy. I'd show you some of those, but they are excellent needles. Schmetz stretch, I get them in a size 14, easier to thread, and they'll sew just as well as a 12. The Schmetz size 14, 2045, and a Singer. The Schmetz is a stretch. Always check your needle first. Don't go through all this and then find out all you had to do was change your needle. That would be ridiculous, but you'd be surprised how many folks don't want to understand the needle is the most important part of the situation. Mr. Singer didn't invent the sewing machine. He invented the needle that would sew, because everybody had a machine and they wouldn't sew worth a hoot. Mr. Singer came along with the needle that made it work, and the rest is history. So when it's set timing, you'll see it goes right past the stop point here. It goes right past it. If it doesn't go past it, it won't lock up. It won't make the stitch. So that's how you use that tool, Singer 158 series. So if you have a tool, have fun with it. If you don't have the tool, you might want to get one. Being that I'm sold out, I'll send you to Accurate over there in Fort Worth. Talk to Alan, 817-924-8811, 817-924-8811, Accurate Manufacturing Company over in Fort Worth. Talk to Alan, see if he'll get you one. The first run sold out. He may make some more if he gets enough interest. All right? Thanks.